So they do say it should be different in the future, but again, time will really tell. If you do plan on coming to that Sportsplex right now, come knowing you will most likely be parking off-site, so give yourself extra time. In the newsroom, we first introduced you to Timothy Brookshire last night. Armed robbery at the Hampton Inn on Dickens Place. The suspects are described as 3 black males wearing dark clothing with their faces skewed. 2 children are still recovering after a serious crash. The case has received so much attention, the jury pool was asked if they heard about it on the news. Once the trial starts, it's expected to last more than a week. And the abuse victim could take the WBTV. When we're on your side at 11 every night, we're not just rehashing the day. The jury is now seated in the trial against Dorian Harper. Among other things, this man is accused of chaining an 11-year-old boy to the porch with a dead chicken. A woman is hoping a rude note left on her car will raise awareness. When it comes to fire safety, are you smart and observant neighbors? 3 things that help deter home break-ins, but sometimes even Senator Tillis sent a letter to the Homeland. Tonight, a fight over a project we first told you about earlier this week. DOT is planning to move graves on the property of an East Charlotte church. But that's not the only reason some are speaking out this evening. At NC State and national representatives of the Pi Kappa Phi fraternity are condemning that book. Fraternity staffers are in Raleigh tonight helping university leaders investigate. And as far as the alcohol ban for the other fraternities, that affects only the Interfraternity Council, not an absolutely terrible case out of Florida. A 13-year-old boy shot his brothers during an argument. He stood by while a little boy was tortured and handcuffed to a dead chicken. Now there's anger over a plea deal for Wanda Larson. Good evening and welcome. I'm Molly Grantham in for Maureen. Thanks for being here with us tonight. Testimony in the rape trial. Indiana is still reeling tonight because of backlash over the Religious Freedoms Restoration Act. The bill was signed into law last week, and since then, protests and boycotts have followed. Some say it allows businesses to refuse service to someone because they're gay. Investigators are calling on anyone with footage of the disaster to please hand it over to officials. A French magazine and German newspaper claim to have seen a cell phone video they say was shot by a passenger showing the panic moments before that plane went. Investigators say no charges are expected to be filed in this. Could watch that story over and over. Lewis is out of the hospital tonight. The Coast Guard says he had a shoulder injury and was dehydrated, but that he is doing just fine. New on prime time, the South Carolina Senate has passed a bill giving law enforcement new power to investigate human trafficking. More clouds are moving in, and we are tracking rain, thunder, and lightning tonight near Charlotte. Video is one of the key reasons Officer Slager was arrested. He was not wearing a body camera. Instead, a bystander recorded the shooting on a cell phone. With cell phone video only increasing in popularity, we wanted to know what are your rights when using it. Unthinkable scenario for this mom tonight. Her son, a man who escaped prison in North Carolina 40 years ago, is in custody in Kentucky tonight. We have learned that Clarence Moore escaped prison in Harrison County in 1971. He was only 16 years old. He turned himself in, we've now learned, because he needed medical treatment. He's never been able to see a doctor because he's been living under an alias for 40 years without an ID or social security card. Again, he's in the hospital. Law enforcement says he was very emotional and crying when he turned himself in. He left prison at 16 years old. More to come on this story tomorrow morning. The widow of a high-profile financial analyst is filing a wrongful death lawsuit against Southwest Airlines. She claims a flight crew left her husband in an airplane bathroom when he desperately needed help. Lee, thank you. The owner of an East Charlotte dry cleaner is in the hospital tonight after he was attacked outside his business and had his car stolen. Grantham, across the world right now, we're hearing terrible stories about lost loved ones in Nepal. More than 4,000 people are dead after a massive earthquake. This Charlotte woman right here, she's not one of them. She's alive and well. Today, she talked with WBTV. Says the deaths of at least 90 people are linked to a faulty part. Oh, thank you, Maureen. Rock Hill's Friendship 9 were honored by the old-known soccer clubs are coming to Charlotte. Tomorrow, organizers are expected to announce that Chelsea FC and Sarnayev is spending his first night on death row. A jury sentenced the Boston Marathon bomber to death today, a penalty the city and much of the country had been waiting for. What's happening in the sky above us? Drones are a new part of life. We see video like this all over the internet and all over TV all the time. The Federal Aviation Administration is trying to figure out how to... Many of you will be out on the water, whether at the beach or on the lake. Fun's recovering tonight after he had to be airlifted to a hospital for burns from a grill. The 87-year-old was apparently trying to light the grill this afternoon when he suffered second and third. It's the end of an era at Carowinds. This summer, Thunder Road will be taken down. A high school graduate in Alabama gets the surprise of a lifetime. One by one, names are called. Students will... Pretty great story there. Today does start the 100 deadly days of summer. Don't know if you've heard that term, but that's what troopers refer to it as. It is the time before Memorial Day and Labor Day that proved to be the most dangerous. Guys, Tanya, thank you. We want to talk now about Charlotte native Akshra Pamagram. She is no longer in the Scripps National Spelling Bee. Every single one of them. Did you? Were you ever in spelling bees?
Yeah, I didn't make it nearly.
Do you remember the words that got you out?
No, that was Molly. That was a long time ago.
Asceticism.
Can you spell it now?
Asceticism.
See, if you,
oh, I thought you were gonna shake my hand. I was kind of proud of that one.
There you go.
Just go.
Prosecutors say they have landed a big win against the drug business in our area. What happened next at 5?
Maybe you've done it, had a little too much to drink, and hopped behind the wheel to drive yourself home. You thought you were fine. You only had a couple glasses of wine. No way you thought you could be over the legal limit. Now technology claims to be able to tell you for sure with smartphone breathalyzer apps. But do they really work? The decision could have a positive economic impact on the state. The county teacher is facing multiple charges tonight. He is accused of having sex with a student. Ricky Joe Durden is in jail under $100,000 bond. Kannapolis police say they received these are the 3 most popular stories on WBTV. Thank you. This story is one that will give you some hope. A woman bravely fighting stomach cancer, determined not to let it win. In her sickest moments, her son did something with jury selection in the Randall West Carrick trial starts Monday. He is the CMPD officer charged with voluntary manslaughter for shooting and killing an unarmed black man, Jonathan Farrell. We have heard from Farrell's family before about the pain after Jonathan's death. From the South Carolina mom accused of driving her van into the ocean with her children inside. Remember this? She's going on a boat ride on Lake Norman with 2 men she didn't know. She ended up growing today. It dedicated a brand new school this morning. Lawrence Orr Elementary opened last month to relieve overcrowding at Hickory Grove Elementary and 2 other schools. This day reminded the community of a promise made and a legacy for students to remember. WBTV's Cedric Russell was there. All new now at 11 o'clock. We talked with Newton Police tonight. They say they are still investigating an embarrassing photo taken of a patient. And tonight the Billy Graham Rapid Response Team is on the ground in Roseburg, Oregon, just 1 day after a deadly shooting on the campus of a community college. And new tonight, the fight over a dog between a soldier and a deputy. Both say the dog is family, but one of them is accusing the other of mistreating that animal. This next video is frightening to see. One student was badly hurt when the Florida school bus slammed into another car. The bus had 10 kids on board. It was heading to an elementary school near Jacksonville. 1 student was flown to the hospital. Several more were hurt. You can see it was messed up pretty badly in the front, but all those kids are expected to be okay. Tonight, a local teenager fighting a difficult cancer battle is smiling from ear to ear thanks to the kindness of strangers. We have been following Dalton Edwards. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Molly Grantham. We begin with a disturbing story out of Hickory. Someone broke into a World War II hero's crypt, opened his casket, and stole the skull. The case has people in the area very upset, and authorities vowing to find whoever did it. WBTV's Steve Onisworth was the first to break this story on Twitter today. He has the latest. Today, not an April Fool's story. By now, you know, because you've probably been pranked, it is April Fool's Day, and some of the jokes are good, some not so much. Our Kristen Hampton tried a few today. She has tonight's good news. Okay, Eric, thank you. The North Carolina Tar Heels are getting ready to take on Syracuse in the Final Four. This dress color was completely coincidental today. Tonight, our Janie... Okay, Nick, we're having issues with your microphone. We do want to get to this story, so let's go ahead and get Nick's microphone worked out, and we'll get back to you, Janie.
All right, keep it right here. Still much more to come here on WB.
One of the people accused in a local firefighter's death will avoid the death penalty. Kari McClelland pleaded guilty in the death of Marcus Kaufman today. A baggage handler at Charlotte Douglas International Airport is accused of stealing from you. This 2-month-old elephant is having the time of his life in a kiddie pool. The Dallas Zoo posted this online showing the calf's first dip, I guess you could say. He was born on May 14th. The zoo says as he grows, so will his pool, and they will share more videos like this. I mean, he is pretty cute. That's some pretty good video. We are just 10 days away from our St. Jude Children's Research Hospital Sellathon. Get your ticket live on WBTV at 6 a.m. Haley, thank you. Now on primetime, the game everyone is talking about, Pokemon Go. Eric, thank you. Tonight at WBTV has learned a federal judge will hear arguments over whether to delay implementing North Carolina's controversial House Bill 2 early next month. Tonight, President Obama spoke candidly with some of the people who have been directly impacted by recent police shooting. Big problem. They're asking police to help them stop people from playing the new Pokemon Go game in the graveyard. The popular app requires people to go to different locations to catch digital monsters on their phone. Tonight, our Sarah Morgan talked to a mom whose son is buried in that cemetery. Baby pandas, 23, causing a tourism scene because the pandas aged 0 to 4 months are the result of a spike in breeding. They're almost double the number of newborns produced all of last